Good afternoon. This is EMS Automotive Products from Detroit, Michigan, manufacturers of outer body sheet metal for Fords and Chevrolets. Today we are going to talk about a design review of the 1957 to 1960 Ford F100 pickup truck cab, one of the most popular cabs in the restoration market today. We're in our Detroit Research Center, which is the biggest in the world for antique car parts. No other company has 50,000 square feet dedicated to engineering research for older cars. Don't let anybody fool you. We have our own skunk works over here where we do this. What we have is we got a 57 to 60 Ford pickup truck cab up here. Okay, we're going to start at the back with the cab corners. You've probably seen our other video. This is a cab corner, it goes in the back. Okay, you can see quickly that we have all the features on this. Now, and it's the most commonly rusted out areas in the truck. Now, as we come around to the door, we start to see the rust. This truck is considered fairly good. It's only rusted out in some areas. I'm going to show you our floor pan here. We got a front floor pan that we've started to die stamp. Here, 18 gauge, not Chinese tissue paper, not black. You're always going to see our name and phone number on the parts. I'm going to throw this up in here and you can kind of see how it goes. Okay, and you can see that it looks, and when I pull it away, it looks just like the way it's supposed to be. That's what EMS can do. Okay, we design it, we manufacture it, we sell it direct. Okay. As you come around the outside of the car, you got the cab corner. The cab corner itself, when it comes in, the door post, the rear door, inside the rear door post is separate. As you can see on here, we stamped in the correct flanges that match the flange here and here, and that's the way. And then the inner door post spot welded behind this, between the cab corner and what we call, this is the kick plate over here that goes in there. There's an inner cab corner I'll show you when we get to another truck that we have access to. And that's one thing, is we have usually more than one vehicle so we can find out the year-to-year differences. Okay, we're going to be calling this the kick panel. It's a good name for it. It curves around, it's spot welded to the inner cab corner, spot welded to the floor pan, spot welded to the inner running board. And as you can see back over here, one of the reasons for the rust is all the different seams. Okay, you got a seam here, you got a place to trap dirt, you got dirt that can get in here. So all this comes together, this makes a structure, and there's a cross beam that ties it to the other side. One of the problems with the 57 to 64 trucks is the massive amount of rust on the door. And this is a good, like I said, this is a fairly good, people consider this a good truck, believe it or not. But at this part, everything comes together, and that was one of the problems. One of the big issues with why the truck's rusted, they did not have an inner front fender that protected this area from road splash. Okay, and as you can see here, even up very high, we're halfway up the door, we're getting road splash from the tire. Okay, also, one of the other problems is the cowl vent. Can't see it here. The cowl vent, for your fresh air, they may have had air conditioning in them. Okay, came down for the vent on the inside. Well, of course, the water drained out the bottom right here. The water drained out the bottom, and so we put even more water over here. If the tire wasn't throwing enough, they drained the cowl vent down here, all into the same area, and we'll go to a nicer truck where we can see it. But here again, you have a lot of different things coming together. EMS is going to have a full line of parts to rebuild all of this. As you can see, we got the floor pans, we got the cab corners, we got the floor braces, which is right here. I'm going to show you a rusted out floor brace. You can see right over here, this floor brace is rusted out. We're gonna replace it with a new 16 gauge die stamped in Detroit from EMS Automotive. So The tricky problem with this truck is everything comes together in one corner. The floor pan actually extends out to here, okay, almost 1.5 inches past where you see it on the inside. You got the toe board, this is the toe board. Toe board comes down, turns 45 degrees, which is perpendicular to the ground, has a flange. The toe board and the floor pan were spot welded like this from the outside. Okay, yes, it had gap, it collected water. So your floor pan, if you get a floor pan, it seems to be a little bit long. It isn't, it's the correct length. It goes past this corner in here, which is the other side of this on the inside of the truck, and I'll show it to you in a minute. Okay, so it goes past here. Okay, this panel here, right here, is going to be your inner kick panel. And that's where the vent is on the other side of this dome. Okay. Now coming up next is, we can see that the running board, we have the end of the inner door face here, and the running board continues past here and spot welds together. This obviously be filled in. Okay. This is the main doorpost column. Okay, complex stamping, lots of features and curves. We'll see it on another truck. Okay, and it goes up to here. This and the inner, what we're going to call the inner face of the doorpost. This is what holds the roof and the cab and the dash together. It is also, you can see where the spot welds broke away from the inner kick panel, which is holding the floors to this, coming around. Okay, in the back side you see a little bit left of the floor brace. So the floor brace being bolted to the frame is grabbing this column. And a very strong truck when brand new, very, very well built. But it is all these nooks and crannies that held the water, plus the normal water that you drag in with your feet on the front floor pans, which are almost always rusted out on anything from the 50s. So all this comes together. So you got the doorpost face, you got the main doorpost column, you have this here is the air dome, we're calling it the air dome for the vent system. All comes together here. And you can see from there on the other side, you can see the air vent. This is the back side of the dome. This is where your fresh air vent came in. This is your toe board. Okay, here again, it's spot welded to the kick panel, spot welded to the floor. And right here is, I told you, this is the bottom of the toe board, and the floor pan continues another 1.5 inches forward. And very, very important to remember that when you go to put these in. Very, 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 very difficult. This whole area is very difficult. It all has to be pretty much replaced at the same time. We're making all the parts for it. Good afternoon, it's EMS. We're back doing the design review on the 57 to 64 F1s. We are underneath the truck right now. Remember, EMS Automotive, the premier manufacturer of Ford pickup truck parts, 1957 to 1960. Made in Detroit, where car parts are supposed to be made. Not China, not tissue paper, not from some unknown website from somebody's basement. EMS Automotive, and you can reach us on our website, which is
emsautomotive.com.
Okay, or call us at 248-546-0232. We're underneath the truck. This was actually almost a rust-free truck that we got, and very, very hard to get. We're looking at the back side of the kick panel and the bottom side of the running board. Okay, what we see here, here's our kick panel, here's our running board. You can see the spot weld flanges here. You can see the flange on the floor pan and the gap as Ford made it. You can see the center floor brace or cab mount and the famous front cab mount that likes to rust out a lot. Here again, the kick plate wraps all the way around to the front. Okay? That welds the floor brace being bolted to the frame, welds to this. The running board is on the back side here, giving more strength on the bottom. And we're going to stop and we're going to go to the top side of it. Hi, we're back. We're back to the top side. We got the cameraman out from underneath the truck. Here again, you see the doorpost here. This is the main doorpost column, and that's what we're calling it. And here again, you can see a little piece of the kick panel as it wraps around, where it's welded to the cab mount floor brace. This is a little piece of the floor pan. I told you it's 1.5 inches past where the toe board meets on the inside, because the toe board sits on top of the floor pan, which sits on top of the floor brace. So we have the column. You can see one of the hinge bolts from the other side. So we column. We have our air dome, rust free. Of course, we painted this to get a good thing. We're coming to the inside here. This is our interface, our inner door jamb. Here again, it's got bends in it for strength. Welded to the kick panel, welded to the running board, welded to the floor pan, welded to the toe board and the inner kick panel. This is how this whole column gains its strength. Here again, there were lots of nooks and crannies for rust, which caused the major rust problems that there are. Okay, we just finished a design review of the 1957 Ford pickup trucks, 57 to 60 Ford pickup trucks, F100, the fridge. EMS Automotive from Detroit, Michigan. You can reach us at 248-546-0232. And if you need to go to the website is
EMSautomotive.com.